Hey guys, how you doing? This is jpsarrireviews coming to you once again with another episode of Age of Heroes, my podcast. Welcome. And today I want to expand on something that I've talked about before in regards to Gamestop, but also in regards to the future of physical media, particularly game media, video games. And there's something that lately you've probably heard a lot of the comments. There's a lot of conversations in regards to it online. There's a lot of articles, a lot of websites, magazines are talking about it. Also, it's a conversation in forums and Facebook groups, YouTube. There are a lot of videos people are talking about it because the truth of the matter is this: we know that GameStop is pretty much at the end of its rope, and the question now is not if GameStop is going to fail, how it's going to fail. The question really is when GameStop is going to fail. We know GameStop is pretty much at the exit road. It's just pretty much walking out of this. And it's just a matter of time. All they're doing right now, as any other company, they just try to make as much profit as they can. And they're going to extend it as much as they can, but it could be a matter of months. It could be a matter of a couple of years. It could be a matter of 10 years. You don't know. But eventually, we know that GameStop as a model, as a business model, the way they have it, at least here in North America, is pretty much on the wayside. It's going in a different route. And as the companies are evolving, the gaming companies, the big companies that produce these game consoles are moving more and more into digital media. The future is very clear. We are coming to the end of physical as it is, as we know it. And it's good and it is bad. And for so many people, for many people out there, I have heard a couple of videos or I've seen some videos where people are saying it's that because games are just disposable entertainment. And I would say that everything is disposable, and that includes video games. If you come to know, I've been a collector of games for many years. I have collected for several different platforms, for Nintendo platforms, Xbox, PlayStation, which are the biggest ones right now. But I've been a collector. I love gaming. I've been a gamer, like many of you, since I was very, very young. So gaming is in my DNA. I love gaming. I've been a collector of a lot of game consoles and also a lot of media. I do have plenty games. I have stacks full of games. I have, packs, things full of cases full of them, but many of them I just bought them because I was collecting them, not necessarily because I was playing them. And up to this day, I'm still doing it. Like, for example, right now, last night I was playing here on YouTube. I was doing live streaming. I was playing the DuckTales remaster, which is a fantastic game. I love it, and I'm gonna finish it probably tonight. I'm gonna finish the game. I'm gonna do the second part of it. Fun game, but it's going out of the wayside. I think tomorrow is going to be delisted from all the services. So right now it's a great time to go and purchase it if you have not purchased it. I do own it on the PS3, on the Xbox 360, which is actually backwards compatible. You can play it on the Xbox One. I also have it on the Wii U. And I have it all in digital media. I don't have physical copies of that. But I really enjoyed the game, and it's fun. And I know a lot of people feel sad when this thing they delisted, and they are, it becomes like ammo to their claims in regards to the bad thing about digital services. And I would say there is some bad in it, but at the same time, and I want to play devil's advocate today on this, but there are also some good in it. The bad, I would say, is because you lose the opportunity to be able to have something forever, in the sense that, yeah, you download it to your console. Some of the services can be downloaded, but once the services are up and out, there's no way for you to download it. What happened with the Virtual Console on Nintendo, the Wii, and on the Wii U also, once it's done, it's done. There's no way you can download it. If you didn't get the chance or the opportunity to download it in time, you're not going to be able to access it. And we still have the Xbox Live is still available. You can still download a lot of stuff. The PlayStation Network, you can still download stuff to the PS3, but it's just a matter of time when that also is going to be closed, the service for those. So my recommendation to people in that case is always to save your saves, not only to the cloud, but save them to an outside hard drive. It's always important as a safekeeping, if you are a digital gamer, is to save all your stuff, all your games into a digital, not only you do it just for the future, but also you do it for your own protection. Something happens to your console, it goes bad, what used to happen, the red light of death, things like that, you can still have your saves, and you have to reformat your computer. It's important to do that. It's a normal practice, is to save your computer to an external hard drive, and it will preserve you just in case in emergency something happens. If you lose your console, if your console gets destroyed for anything, then you can reset everything and resave all the stuff, re-download again, and you can transfer your saves. I think it's important to do that for anything. Now, again, I'm always been a lover of material things, physical things. We love the physical things. However, we come into a place where places like GameStop, as they go out of the door, as the services are no longer required, now it's what's next. Companies are not seeing this being profitable just to continue producing physical copies. Yes, it is important to have physical copies, and we love the physical copies, and people think that they will last forever, but the truth of the matter is that even a physical copy will not last forever. You may have a game disc that may last for 10, 20 years, but they're also destructible. They don't last forever. Games have never been made with the purpose to last forever. They were never made. The original Nintendo games, NES, SNES, Sega Genesis, they all have also a battery lifespan, and you have to replace the battery once they get to a certain time, and some of them you cannot replace. The same happens with arcades. They were created with a time frame. They don't last forever. So it is so important nowadays. The preservation of those comes into the digital aspect. That's the reason why mini consoles are so fantastic, because not only you can play the games that come with them, a lot of people are able to hack them and put more games, put ROMs into it, and you can play games and preserve those games. And many games have been preserved through ROMs, through all these services, or all these people that hack these games, and they have created the BIOS and all of that, where we can use them for posterity. It's the way you preserve this stuff. But definitely, as we go into a different route, and to be honest with you, after you collect so much stuff, it gets to the point that it becomes an addiction. You get in so much stuff, you have walls and walls full of stuff. And first of all, it's not conducive for a good lifestyle, because then you're pretty much trapping your home full of stuff. First of all, you don't have the freedom even to move. Good thing I own my home, so because I own my home, I can do what I want. I can change the walls, I can do all kind of things. But definitely having too much stuff in a house can also be a bit difficult, especially if you're a rat pack. So it gets to the point that it's about quality of life rather than the quantity of what you have in life. And if something happens, you gotta move. Let's say if you're a renter or whatever, you have to constantly move. You have to move with all that stuff. Thankfully, I don't have to do that in my house. But let's say that I sell this house, and I want to buy a different house, or I move to a different city, different state, or a different country. Then I have to go through all the process of carrying all this stuff. So you have to think about that. And this is when digital comes in hand. And this is when the digital services are better for that purpose. If you're the type of person that is constantly moving, changing, if you're a person that you hate to have a mess and to have like rooms full of stuff, then definitely this is something that works better for you. If you're concerned about the environment, if you're concerned about how to preserve nature, because these are resources that have been taken in order to create the physical stuff. Yeah, you can you can conclude, or you can argue that also there are resources that are made in order to have the servers where we have all the saves and bring them into our computers, and the streaming part. They have to create all these big servers, big locations where a lot of computers and all that, and that also burns resources and energy. Yes, it does. But ultimately, you're gonna do the same thing when you're playing the games. However, you don't have to. You cut in some of that aspect of the resources, at least the abuse of resources, with the less use of plastics and all this materials that minerals that are really hard to get nowadays. So there are pros and cons. I'm not here to tell you that it's sad in part, particularly when we grew up in a generation where we were able to have everything physical. Yes, but nostalgia, like I said it before in this podcast, can be also a bad thing. It can be a bad thing because it makes us see things as the past as the only alternative, not necessarily the things in the present. And the challenges of today are totally different than the challenge that we had 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. They're different. So we have to live on today. We have to live on today, but we also have to think about the future. about what's next. GameStop is pretty much out of business. Yes, they are in business. They're still selling. They're still doing some stuff. I like GameStop. I like to go to GameStop, but I have to be realistic. I have my foot on the ground. They're not going to last forever. And it's just a matter of time. Because their business model is dying because of the way companies are operating now and how they are supporting digital services. Games are becoming more a service. They are. There's a lot of free-to-play games. There's a lot of stuff that you go there and you buy the downloads. So you don't get to see games repeating over and over like we used to. You used to have a Call of Duty every year. You still kind of have. But it's coming to a place where these games are lasting forever. Street Fighter 5 has been came out 2017. It's still there, still strong. You're still adding more content. Tekken 6. All these games are coming out. There's less of that. There's less collectibles items. There's less special DLC pre-order things because some of the time you pre-order the stuff, you can get the same thing online. So there's a lot of things and pluses and negatives into the physical thing that, of course, that's the reason why GameStop is doing whatever it's doing in order to survive. But that's also coming to a cost to them, in competing with the online retailers. So definitely they're going to come to an end at some point. Right now, again, they're just trying to preserve as much and save as much they can and make as much profit as they can until the last minute, until they go belly up. It's just the way companies operate. It's the way all companies do. And they know they're pretty much on borrowed time, but they're going to just they're gonna milk it as much as they can. Now, yes, digital comes with pluses. It comes with negatives. Yes, once a service stops, that's it. It's over. There's no way you can download it again. But as the way the things progress, some of these games are pretty much the license are renewed over and over. So it goes in the next generation. Then we gotta wait for the next generation. So there's always gonna be versions of these games in one way or another. In my opinion, the way I see it is this: enjoy the moment, enjoy the games that you have. That's what I'm going through right now. I'm really, for many years I bought so many games that I never played. I can go right now in my collection. I'm probably gonna be streaming games for years to come from all these my consoles, and I want to stream more, and in my channel, but even on Twitch, I want to get into Twitch more. But the thing is this. A lot of these games, we bought them, we had so many physical copies of things, even digital copies. I have plenty. We need to enjoy what we have. And let's worry about it. I know collectors love to have everything. But sometimes the collector mentality is more about trying to, trying to supply something that we didn't have. Because sometimes I hear people say, well, I have this, I collect this because I didn't have it as a kid. And that's the problem. Sometimes we do things because of emotional reasons. We all collectors do. We all do because of emotional reasons. However, we have to be more conscious about it, and we have to enjoy the moment. And gaming is all about enjoying the moment. There are plenty of games to enjoy. I enjoy many games, have plenty of games. Where they're physical, I can go back to my physical stuff. It's a pain sometimes in the butt to go through, through all my shelves and my boxes of stuff, trying to find the game that I want, which is really sad. It really tells you a lot that sometimes we are so divided into a lot of things, and we don't, we buy because that's the mentality of our society, and sometimes we don't get the time even to enjoy those things. I have games still wrapped that needs to be unwrapped and needs to be played. And I feel that, yes, there are pluses and negatives, but digital media, at least, the great thing about digital is that you download it to your computer, you play it, you don't like it, or in your console, you just delete it, but still there are some place where you can save it, or you can save it to a hard drive, and you can still have it there. If I go through my PS3, my Xbox 360 have hundreds of games in each console, and I have big hard drives. So I have them there, and I save those those games also in separate hard drives. So I can always go back there, and it's so easy just to plug in the thing, get the controller, and play the game, rather than just going through boxes on boxes of discs. And some of them they can go bad after a while, particularly older discs like PlayStation 2 and Xbox, and all those older games. They're not as strong as Blu-rays. So at least you have something like that. Yes, it is it's a dilemma. What is better? What is best? But in the end, I think it's all about what is more convenient for us, at least for me. And that's one of the reasons why I switched to digital. And that's one of the reasons why I like digital. I still like physical. I kind of switch, go back and forth. But ultimately, for me, it's more about convenience. And in the end, it's all about having enjoyment in what I do. It's just not just buying games just for the sake of buying them. It's about buying those games now and playing them. I did that for so many years, and until I decided to stop. I just want to enjoy what I have, and perhaps keep buying some of the other stuff, collect some little things, but not necessarily just to do it as a obsession. Just do it as a passion. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? I would like to hear it. So once again, thanks for listening to the podcast. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Again, like I said, I'm going to be streaming over the weekend. I have other reviews. I have a couple of things, a couple of surprises. So stay tuned. Watch my channel and stay tuned to the podcast as usual. In this podcast. I'll talk to you again next week. God bless, my friends. Bye-bye.